Men no longer come up to women.
Men literally never approach me.
Guys don't approach girls at the bars anymore.
Welcome back to The Dating View. In today's video, we're talking about something many women say they've noticed: men approaching less and less. Women share their personal experiences, why they feel men don't approach anymore, and the confusion surrounding this shift in modern dating. From changing social norms to fear of rejection and mixed signals. These are the honest perspectives on why approaching in today's dating world feels so different. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about the reality of modern dating.
Stop telling me to go meet someone in the wild when I go in the wild and someone will be staring at me the whole entire night and won't come say hi. How many more times is that going to happen? How many more times am I going to be in the bar, playing pool, at the coffee shop, on a walk, and I will be staring down another person who is staring me down, smiling across the table, whatever, and you don't come say hi? Oh my gosh. What am I meant to do, you guys? Am I gonna have, we always have to make the first move or something? Because, oh my gosh.
I was speaking to my mum about dating, and because I'm out a lot for work and things like that, and I love to socialize, she was like, oh, have you met anyone out? And I'm like, well, I will see a guy that, say, I've texted or, met online or have mutuals with, and he will, look at me and then turn away, and then message saying, hey, you looked gorgeous today. And that's, a universal experience for every girl. Guys will just text you later on. And Mum's like, what the fuck? When I would go out, if a guy was interested, he'd straight up go, hey, I'm interested in you, whatever, what's your number? And if you liked him, you'd give him your real one. If you didn't, you'd change one digit. That's what she said to me. My mum did make a point that I go for socially awkward private school boys that don't know how to talk to girls because I went to single-sex schools, so that's a big factor too. But, I took it upon myself to call my guy friend and literally ask for the answers. I'm like, just tell me, what is stopping guys from just, approaching girls naturally and not, sleazy? Just, literally for a conversation. Because guys that, do that, reap the benefits anyway. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to be a sleaze to, pull a girl in the first place. My guy friend said, unless a girl is, making it that obvious, at a pub, for example, that she's into him, he's she has to fully be, waving at me for me to think to go over. And he said that rejection just isn't worth it these days because that girls, have higher standards of men, so guys genuinely feel like they just aren't good enough and to go up and introduce themselves. And I'm like, that's actually kind of sad because I do feel like girls are getting judgier, but I also feel like boys are the same. And I think it goes down to dating apps and social media, obviously. But dating apps is shopping, no, 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 yes, no, 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 no. So it's people are getting pickier, but yeah, it's people don't know how to socialize anymore, and it's really sad. I saw on TikTok a card game that someone invented called We Met at a Bar. I don't know if you've seen it, but it actually looks like a cool idea, and they should collab with different pubs in Melbourne and just have the card game sitting at different tables or something. I feel like that'd be so good. Pretty much, I think it was they had different not dares, but I don't know, you have to look it up, but it's called We Met at a Bar, and it introduces conversation, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I just feel there's gotta be a way to just improve everything about the dating culture, otherwise we're doomed.
What's your type? Can you approach me?
Yeah,
Can you
that's so
approach
true.
me? I'll give you eye contact, but it's just I gave you 3 seconds, maybe half a second, but you should know that that's enough. That is the welcome in. That should be it. That's just if I look at you and I look away and you can't smile to me. You have to make sure you don't really smile too much, because then that's cringe. It's you might as well be approaching them. If now you walk up to me, it's okay, you passed the first test. If your ass stands there for another half an hour, ugh.
This one's for the guys. Do you guys not shoot your shot with women in person anymore? Because I did go on this date with this guy that I met with on Circa, and he was great. He was, good looking, had a good job, we had really good conversation. But he literally told me that he wouldn't have the confidence to go up to me if we were at a bar, which I don't really understand because he is a good-looking guy. Like, I don't understand why he wouldn't have the confidence to do so. So is this like a universal thing? Do men just not approach women as much anymore?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's going to take more than women being pretty for men to approach them anymore. I keep seeing women complaining that men aren't approaching them. And as someone who used to wonder about this too, I'm going to tell you exactly what I learned and how we can fix it. Here's what I've realized: these men are exhausted. They're tired of being used for free drinks, tired of being seen as walking ATMs, tired of putting in effort only to be ghosted or given fake numbers. And listen, I get it. We've been taught that our beauty should be enough, that men should pursue us no matter what. But the reality is, we've created an environment where approaching us feels like a lose-lose situation for them. I used to think men owed me their attention just because I looked good, but here's what I learned: no one owes us anything, not their time, attention, energy, or money. But we've been programmed to think that being pretty is our main value, but then we get upset when men only see us for our looks. Think about how hypocritical that is. We want them to value our minds, but are we actually developing our personalities? We want them to see us for who we are, but do we even know who we are beyond our looks? I had to look in the mirror and ask myself some hard questions. Am I showing interest in him as a person, or just what he can provide? Am I bringing peace to his life or drama? Am I someone he'd actually want to build a legacy with? The truth is, we've made dating transactional without even realizing it. We expect men to approach, pay, pursue, while we just exist and wait to be catered to. But here's what changed everything for me. When I started focusing on what I could offer instead of what I could get, everything shifted. The relationship I have now with my fiance is proof that when you develop yourself beyond your looks, the right man will see you as a true partner. We wonder why good men seem unavailable, but maybe they're just protecting themselves from the games we don't even realize we're playing. We can't treat men like they're disposable and then wonder why they've stopped trying. Our actions have consequences, but recognizing this is the first step to actually making a change. If we want men to approach us, we need to show them we're worth the risk. Let's start being the women who inspire men to step up, not the ones who make them want to give up.
Look, I am not here to offend anyone, so sorry. I was just coming on here to rant, a silly little rant. I had no idea it was going to go as viral as it did. I had like close to 70,000 views. That's wild to me. But now that I have your attention, I guess it seems like there's a larger conversation, a larger theme at play here. And as women, it seems like our role in this is that we've beaten men down so much for approaching us, but at the same time, we want them to approach us. Like, yes, men, do you hear that? We want you to shoot your shot. I mean, obviously read the room, right? Like if we're in the middle of a birthday party or we're hanging out with our kids, like don't approach, right? Or maybe do like something subtle. But like I said in my last video, if a female is sitting alone at a bar on a Sunday and she isn't on her phone, she doesn't have a ring, she keeps looking at you, that's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. If she's clearly like in at a business event and she's presenting, obviously that's not the time. Like there's obvious cues, right? I feel like I'm actually a little shocked that I have actually medium. Anyway, witty banter goes a really long way. Self-deprecation, top notch. I'm no expert, but I'm just telling you what females like. And to be clear, I feel like I need to address this. I always go up to men. Like, if I see something I like, fuck yeah, I'm going after it. I do. Every time. I didn't expect people to say, oh, you should reach out. I mean, I guess I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. But I've just been running into a string of men who get so excited about what I look like. And then when we go on dates, they're like, they get what they want after a certain period of time. And then it's like, all right, I'm out. And yeah, did I want that in the very beginning of my post-divorce journey? Sure, it had been a while. But now I'm ready. I want a relationship. I'm not trying to like have a revolving door of men. I'm a mom of 2 boys. Like I don't want that. I want that stability, of somebody adding to my life, not for me to depend on them. I'm perfectly content and happy with myself, as most women are in their 40s. That's the beauty of dating somebody in their 40s. So yeah, I mean, I guess the moral of the story is shoot your shot, respect someone's time. Don't pretend that you're wanting more than you are. And look, dating is figuring that out, right? But just don't play games. Like, I don't know. One last thing that's super important that I forgot, if I still have your attention, confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, what are you doing? I'm not attracted. I mean, I can speak on behalf of a lot of women, but personally, and I'm not talking like cocky, I'm talking like, I'm good. Like, I don't need a woman, but I want you. Like, that's sexy. That's hot. You know, and not clingy, not stage 5 clingy crap. I'm talking like you're balanced. You have your shit together. You know yourself. You have self-worth. You're not anxious. You feel confident in your skin, and you're not already assuming the worst of women, and you're not negative about it. Like, just be yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, and you're not going to overthink approaching a woman. You're either going to do it or you're not. Fuck this Me Too culture. I'm sorry. And that's not to disrespect people who genuinely had things that happen. I'm just talking about like, oh, I can't approach a woman because of Me Too. And look, I get it. And maybe for like Gen Z people, I said what I said. Sorry, I got cut off. Ex-husband was calling me. Anyway, for the moral of the story is just be confident. Don't be afraid to approach. And don't make assumptions. Just don't assume. Half the time women go out, especially by themselves, or just like with one other person or 2, like they want your attention. So don't be afraid to give it. Hope this helps. And this probably should have been like a 4-part series, but anyway, bye.
So why do men no longer come up to women? I asked this in a TikTok last week, and it got so many comments, especially from men. And I just want to preface this with, this was no shade to men. This post was no shade to men, and neither is this one. I was just genuinely curious and asking. I love men. I think they're awesome, and I think that they're a little confused right now. But most of their responses said something like, we were told not to go up to you guys, and we were told that you want to be left alone, and you just want your own space, and you don't want us approaching you. Which for some women, that can absolutely be true, but I love meeting people in person, and I just think that it takes a confident person to go up to someone when you see them in person, and I think it's a really cool way to meet people rather than meeting people online. Men were also saying things like they were called creeps and weirdos, and they don't want to be called that. It's not a pleasant experience. But I will say that it has to do with how you approach a woman. Like, for example, myself and my friends have had men come up to us with a really, really intense energy, like a very in-your-face energy, and they're really nervous and they're kind of scattered and they're very pushy or weird, and their energy is just off. And one of the most attractive things to a woman is emotional intelligence, and that shows within like the first few seconds of meeting someone when they introduce themselves to you. So if you're gonna go up to a woman, just like take a calm, deep breath. If you see a woman working on her laptop or something at a cafe, you can go up to her and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I thought you were really beautiful and you seem interesting. I would love to get to know you more if you're interested, and then slipping her your number on a napkin or something, you know? Like, just coming up to women with a calm energy and not giving off this like needy energy or this like pushy energy. I think that is what women don't like. I think it's really sweet and cute to be approached in person, and I know that there's a lot of women like me. There's probably some women out there who don't want to be approached, and that's fine, and it's hard to tell who's who. But I think you can tell when you go up to a girl kind of right away if she'd be interested or not based on her body language, and just be calm and natural and don't overthink it. You know, I know that's easier said than done. I've only gone up to a man once in my whole life, but I think that might help. I don't know. I think I'm just someone who's very interested in people interacting with each other and having experiences and building community. And I think the world is growing more and more introverted and people are on their phones more. And I just think it's beautiful to meet people out and in person. And I just don't want to lose that as a humanity.
Men talk a lot about how it's really unfair that they have to be the ones to approach women. I find that quite interesting because men literally never approach me. The only men who approach me are chuggers. I can remember in my life three times in my 41 years where I've been approached by men. Women approach me all the fucking time. Men, 3 times in my life. First time was 20 years ago and I ended up dating him for 15 years. Second time was about 11 years ago and obviously I had a boyfriend at the time, so I said no. Third time was about 2 years ago in a bar. That's it. 3 times in my entire life. That's what, an average of once every 13 years. Every other person that I've dated, I've approached. I've been the one that made the move. So what are men talking about? Like, why are men saying they're approaching people all the time? I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think people are not approaching me because I'm like massively chopped. Do I just have like massive resting bitch face or something? Maybe. Like, I don't want to be approached. I'm not asking to be approached. I just don't really understand why men are moaning about having to be the ones to approach when I, a normal looking person, literally don't ever get approached. From my experience, and I know that this is anecdotal evidence, but in my experience, men are moaning about something that they don't ever do. I don't know, am I like in the massive minority here? Are all other women just getting approached day in, day out? Maybe I'm just massively chopped, I don't know.
Guys don't approach girls at the bars anymore.
I do.
I don't expect guys to come up to me, but I know the caliber of my friends, and I know what those bitches look like, and they are some stunning. If guys aren't going up to them, guys aren't going up to fucking anyone. So I think if you're going up to girls at the bar in the first place, whether you say hi, whether you say, can I buy you a drink, whether you use Nick's line, which is a great line, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you have a million times better of a shot.
Yeah, I mean,
you really don't have all that much competition because guys aren't going up to girls. It's not like 15 guys are going up to a girl in a night to tell her how pretty she is. She probably gets 1 a night.
If you're a girl and you never get approached by dudes in public anymore, you are not alone. This is truthfully a common occurrence across the board. Dudes, flat out, simply are just not approaching women in person anymore. As a matter of fact, not even just for in-person interactions of going up to a woman and saying, hey, can I get your number? Also, even when it comes to dating apps, even when it comes to Instagram DMs, it's actually kind of just dead across the board when it comes to men pursuing women. And this is a huge, huge problem that society does not look at enough, because if we don't have men pursuing women anymore, if we don't have relationships that can be long lasting, if we don't have families built, then over a long enough period of time, how do you have a society when no more families exist? You don't have a society anymore. Society collapses, and it all starts with men pursuing women. And it's a huge problem, but also don't feel like you are alone and sitting there wondering, like, why am I never getting approached in public or at all for that matter? It's not you. It's the simple fact that men do not pursue women at all anymore. They've just given up.
I am not the girl that ever gets approached by guys. Like, in my friend group, my friends are the ones that get approached by guys. I used to take this so personally. It made me see myself as like unappealing to men. That really hit my self-confidence. Like, I would even just start crying because I'd have enough of it, and I just thought I was like not attractive to the male gaze. Like, what's helped me with this is really just understanding my worth in God and knowing that, like, when I get married, when I have a family, like, I'm not going to think back and be like, man, I didn't get approached by guys when I was younger. You know what I mean? That is not something that contributes to our worth and shows who we are. And so if you can relate, if you are not a girl that gets approached by men in public, just don't take it personally. It's honestly maybe just God protecting us. That is how I have stopped taking it personally over the years and just have a more like eternal outlook, I guess.
Okay, here are some of my theories why men don't approach women in public. Okay, number one, I think they have had a super horrible, traumatic experience with like literally one woman. Like one woman really did them so dirty that traumatized them moving forward. Like they can't even move forward because they're still so hurt from the past one experience that they're moving from a place of hurt and not from like a healed perspective. 2, men have a very sensitive ego. And they rather protect that ego from it getting bruised just a little bit, just simply by a rejection from a woman, than to actually go and pursue something. Okay, and 3rd point, men have it way too easy now with all the dating apps and Instagram and sliding into someone's DMs. Like, why would they want to do that in public when they can just choose the easy way out and do it through social media behind a screen?
When will men learn to take a fucking hint? Last night I walked out of the bar and I was standing there by myself on the street waiting for my Uber. And these guys come up to me and they're like talking to me, trying really hard. I'm like, I have a boyfriend. Do I have a boyfriend? No. They were pretty chill. They walked away. New guy comes up. He's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Paige. He's like, when can I see you again? And I was like, I'm not real. That should have been enough of a fucking hint that I didn't want to speak to you. He continues on. He's like, oh my God, me neither. I can tell you're not real. Like, you're beautiful. And I was like, thank you. He's like, can I get your number? I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I love my boyfriend. And he was like, well, I could be your new boyfriend. And I was like, no, you can't. I love my boyfriend. And I kept going and he kept fucking going. And I was like, when will you understand that if I'm telling you, first of all, if I tell you I'm not real, if I reject giving you my number, that means that I don't want to fucking speak to you. Why is that so hard to understand? Like, when will it get through their heads? If I reject you once, walk away. It's so simple.
I feel like it's so rare that men shoot their shot in public anymore, or like even just say hi like a normal human being. I feel like men are so intimidated now and hiding behind social media. They don't know how to talk to girls in real life anymore. And the ones that do are like the freaks. And they be approaching you in the weirdest ways.
I don't know if anyone else relates to this, this juxtaposition in dating. So I'm just going to put it out there. Also, I'm waiting for my hair to set. That's why it looks like this. Okay, so in my early 20s, before I got in the relationship that I was in for a long time, now I'm single again, okay? But when I was younger, I was not very confident in how I felt. I don't think I looked as cute. I think I was always cute, but I was not as cute. You know, I don't think I had an interesting life yet. I think I was ambitious, but I was still working out the kinks. I got approached left, right, and center. So many people wanted to take me on dates. Like, they would approach me at bars. But now that I've been single for the past year, I feel like confident in myself. I feel better in how I look now. And I think I have an interesting life now. Like, in order to be interesting, you have to have interests. No one's approaching me, you guys. It's crickets for the past year. No one's taking me on one date. Like, and I'm not complaining. Like, I'm not saying I'm not in a rush to get into a relationship again, but I don't know what it is. Why don't men approach you when you're more confident and you figure out how you look? Like, hello, tumbleweed. Sometimes I'll find out later after the fact through the grapevine or whatever that maybe someone that I crossed paths with thought I was cute, but they're not coming up to me and letting me know. So, like, what is happening? Literally, what is happening? I don't get it.
Men don't know how to approach modern day women because women have never been as masculine and dominating or assertive as they ever have been. There's no rule book because women have never been this way in any point in history, and men have never been this way. We have evolved as a species. Women are more capable. They have developed their capabilities, their skill sets, their assertiveness, and men have been tapping in more emotionally, nurturing that internal world because now it's acceptable, unlike before. So, we don't know how to relate to each other because the old rule book no longer applies. When it comes to approaching a woman, it is intimidating Women are so much more beautiful than they ever have been, with the cosmetic, with the makeup, with the surgeries, and then add assertiveness and capabilities on top of that. Like, I don't think women know how much courage it takes to not buckle under the like radiance of a beautiful woman. It's already intimidating enough, and then you add the fact that some of them like aren't the nicest. Women aren't emotionally as available as they used to be. Before, you could approach a woman and you could pretty much guarantee like she was going to be very soft. Not anymore. Not anymore. There's no standard of behavior. And so when approaching a woman, you need to ask yourself, am I approaching her as a more than or a less than? If it's either, you're already out of the race. It's already going to be bad. Now, if you're approaching someone as a more than, you're approaching them as better than, which means you're going to be condescending. You're probably going to be aggressive. You're probably going to have like no compassion or understanding towards this person. So you will repel healthy, balanced women, and you will most likely attract women with no backbone. You will attract women you don't respect, and you will not respect yourself for being with someone you don't respect. So that doesn't work. Number 2, approaching a woman as a less than. If you approach a woman as a less than, you're approaching her as a people pleaser, as a man who avoids conflict, and she will not respect you. Women do not respect men who cannot say no. They don't respect men who like, and then make shit up. We can tell when you make shit up. Oh my God, it's so obvious. And so many men will come to me and they're like, well, you know, I just feel like I can love her into change, where if I'm just so accepting, she'll never find anyone as accepting as me, and that's my ammo. That's the worst fucking strategy I've ever heard. Women don't work that way. You cannot love someone into melting into your arms, if that makes sense. Like, people think if I just love her enough and I'm so accepting, then one day she'll just feel safe enough to unravel. Wrongo! That is the opposite of making a woman feel safe. Have you ever had a parent who was like, you know, who was always positive, always just like, you know that parent, or like a grandparent. And when you're upset, you don't want to go to that grandparent sometimes because you need a reality check. You already know what they're going to say. Oh, you're the best thing in the world. You're so strong. Like, don't worry. Like, they just sound like a Hallmark card. People don't like going to that person because they don't believe what they're saying. It's like, oh, they're just trying to make me feel better. They're just going to tell me what I want to hear. No one trusts going to that person unless they want to keep lying to themselves. So that's how women will feel. If you cannot contain the severity of what they're feeling, because sometimes it can be intense and they are taking it seriously, they're not going to feel like they can trust you. If they can't trust you to be honest with them, they're going to go to their friends. They're going to go to other people who will see them as an equal. And yeah, it's just a horrible strategy. When it comes to approaching them, you want to hit the G-spot of communication, not like, okay. The G-spot of communication is assertive communication. It's when you can be direct, firm, grounded, and compassionate. That's my 4-pillar framework that I developed. I'm so passionate about assertive communication because I used to be the person that like, I couldn't even raise my hand. I did not want attention on me at all. Even when I thought an opinion about something, I wouldn't speak up, and then later I'd like beat myself up about it. And that was in my teens. Then I started hosting public speaking workshops because I started doing the social entrepreneurship program in Washington, D.C. So then I started leading public speaking workshops. From the time that I was 15 to the time that I was 21, a bitch was in front of a crowd. And that's my 4-pillar framework when it comes to not only speaking in public, but approaching someone in communication, especially when it comes to conflict. So I help men and women learn assertive communication because it's a skill set that requires emotional regulation, being able to stay grounded because you feel a lot of like fear or anger sometimes during conversations. So if that's something you like help in, you can book a call. If not, learn more about assertive communication, okay? It's going to change your life.
This one's for the guys. Do you guys like not shoot your shot with women in person anymore? Because I did go on this date with this guy that I met with on Circa, and he was great. He was, you know, good looking, had a good job. Like, we had really good conversation. But he literally told me that he wouldn't have the confidence to go up to me if we were at a bar, which I don't really understand because he is a good looking guy. Like, I don't understand why he wouldn't have the confidence to do so. So is this like a universal thing? Do men just not approach women as much anymore?
Women always ask me, what happened to men today? Great question. What started out as a good thing, encouraging men to respect women, has swung way too far in the opposite direction. Now, a lot of men are terrified of women, so they wait for perfect conditions before making a move. But courage doesn't exist without risk, and women can't respect men who don't risk anything. So as a man, if you want to be seen as confident, you've got to be willing to look stupid, to get rejected, to be misunderstood. So start by taking small risks. Approach women when you're out and about. Initiate plans with them. You'd be surprised how fast it'll work, because women nowadays, they're not turned off by that kind of effort. They're starving for it.